to second this motion. This is a great motion coming at this time. It has two objectives, Madam Speaker, and those objectives are in line with Article 53 of our Constitution. And those objectives of this motion, one is to increase capitation for primary and junior secondary school, and second is to breathe life to Article 53. In terms of increasing capitation for primary and junior secondary school, Madam Speaker, this country has adopted a new curriculum which is called the CBC. This curriculum is very intense, it is practical based, and it requires a lot of time and resources for these students to learn. This curriculum also requires very consistent and continuous assessment of the children. Madam Speaker, it has now fallen to the parents to fund this curriculum and not the national government as envisaged under Article 53 of our Constitution. As eloquently said by the mover of this motion, Article 53 says that every child has the right to free and compulsory education. It is compulsory for our children to go to school, and that school should provide free education. But if the capitation that was approved in 2015 is not adequate to provide for the CBC curriculum, then the idea of free education will not be there. Therefore, this is a motion that has come at the right time to emphasize that compulsory and free education. The second objective of this motion, Madam Speaker, is to breathe life to Article 53. Article 53 talks about the compulsory free basic education, but also talk about compulsory basic nutrition. Basic nutrition, Madam Speaker, as this article says, is providing food for our children. A hungry child will not learn. A hungry child will not learn, and it is important. Food can only be given if the capitation is increased. Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate that this House passed 630 billion shillings budget for the Ministry of Education. Those 630 billion have not gone to our schools. Many schools across the country have not even received that very meager capitation that we have approved in 2015. And one wonders, then why do we give this huge budget to the Ministry of Education? Madam Speaker, every child has a right to a free and compulsory basic education. But in parts of this country, other than the lack of resources, there are lack of teachers. Not because we have not approved for hiring of teachers. Actually, in the last budget, we have approved for the hiring of 30,000 teachers. But again, because of bureaucratic snafu and because of bureaucrats who think that they are bigger than the constitution of this country, that has not happened. Madam Speaker, there is a monster called the Teacher Service Commission, a commission that we created as one of our Chapter 15 commissions. I hope and pray that this House and the people of Kenya will take TSC back to the Ministry of Education as a statutory commission and not as a constitutional commission. TSC does not even take orders from the Ministry of Education. It is the minister who comes to Parliament to request for budget. When we give that budget to the ministry, the minister cannot even order for transfer of a teacher who has done something wrong. Madam Speaker, this motion has come at the right time. It is a motion that will give right to our children and will give basic education to our children and will take care of the nutritional needs of our children when they're in school. And for that reason, Madam Speaker, I support this motion, and I hope other members of this body will also support this motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second, sorry. I second and support.
Thank you. Honorable members, before I propose the question, I wish to recognize the presence of